So, when people would say, if you just, because a lot of people, when we're looking at revolution and we're looking at the ways in which we can maneuver through the system and gain our freedom, a lot of people would tell you whether that's voting or like just working and doing the schooling and doing all that and giving yourself your everything to the system to be able to get a sliver of freedom. Right. So we're seeing people right now in this very moment who have given themselves to the system, that are in institutions, that are in higher up places, that have taken them a while to get there, just for them to get kidnapped by the same system. For all the black Americans sucking America's dick, there's people that look exactly like you that are literally being kidnapped at this very moment. Answer for me, like, I just think right now, this time in 2025, even though we have so much proof and examples of why we should have been doing this shit, but like in 2025, I can't take anybody serious if it's not about revolting and burning shit down, if it's not about just stopping working, stopping buying shit, stopping whatever. Like, that should be the thing that we're like collectively wanting people to know and spreading and like shaming people into doing. It's not shaming people to know more about history and know every word and to talk about the same shit. No. This is what the system's banking on us to do, to constantly be in that like mindset of like that intellectual, like higher ground, better than them thing, to where like we won't resort to violence. We'll just like talk about it and like hold hands and like do stand-ins and shit. But extreme things are needed when we're in an extreme system. It's not voting, it's not working, it's not tweeting elective officials, it's not reiterating the same shit that we already know. We know enough. We know that the system doesn't give a fuck about us. We know that we could be living a life that's actually fruitful, and that we're not living that life only because some man, some woman, some human tried to like play God. Again, we understand that by talking about these things, it is helping in the ways that it does. However, if we know the real thing that's going to make the actual change, then it's kind of like, and because there's just a part of me that feels like when these same type of people who do these things, like, then they like tell people like, we need more people talking about these things, or they shame people because people aren't listening to them, people aren't tapping into what they're saying, whatever. I think it's because a lot of people already understand the basis of oppression. They understand the basis of freedom. A lot of people just aren't willing to do the uncomfortable thing. They know what's going to happen when they do that thing. And so I think what we can do to kind of like push more people into being like, fuck it, we have to do the uncomfortable thing, it's stop just all the other performative shit. Keep it a buck, keep it real of what needs to be done, which is, again, either stop buying shit, stop going to work, and dealing with the negative consequences that come from that are literally purposefully done in order for us not to do that thing, or literally start shooting, killing, burning shit down. I don't give a fuck. I don't. We have to like live back in the real world, and a lot of us are so far in this man-made reality that we like, again, it dictates everything that we do. Again, there's going to be that annoying person that feels triggered, and then they're going to be like, well, why aren't you doing the thing? Because if I go out there and I just do the thing and then I'm shot and killed, like, you guys are going to continue on with your life. Because we've seen it many times. But what's going to do actual change, and when I'm actually willing to, like, yeah, I'll put my body on the line and I'm willing to die if that means that, yes, at the end of this, there will be liberation. But the problem is not a nut of. I just woke up, and I'm really annoyed because I was called by my manager talking about a fucking raggedy ass floor that wasn't mopped properly, and then I'm immediately bombarded with all of the truth of the real world of what's actually going on right now as we like do these weird fucking dances and these institutions and structures that just don't necessarily matter. But again, if all of us collectively decided like to do our big one, the big change would come. We wouldn't have to constantly make videos and put spotlights on things, and because we would stand on the fact of the truth that we all already fucking understand. Let's be real. Literal children understand what's going on. And that does come from the age of social media that has been able to like say these things and say it in different ways to reach different people and all of that. So that's what I'm saying. I understand the beauty in these things. But we're so past that. We're so fucking past that, bro. And I know for a lot of you guys, you make your money this way. And so that's a thing. But again, we all have to just do the uncomfortable thing. We all have to go without in order to get to that thing. And they understand that we're not willing to do that. And so that's why things are just like happening the way that they are. I don't want to do the whole like just going out there and like, and like, we want to start. The least that we can do is just being like, we're not buying shit. The least that we can do is genuinely on a global scale, not just like in these little small ways that really aren't affecting pockets. If we can effectively all get on the same page of like, no, we will just, because we obviously have to eat and we have to do these things, but work with each other. When we're talking about crowdfunding and when we're talking about the community and stuff, I just feel like right now what is needed is that community on a global scale, like we kind of see on social media. So it's not like it can't be done. And so we all would just like, fuck it. And like, we'll all just have to like, help each other out and give some of our resources and all of that. If we can just start with that, that is going to do so much. And that is going to pull them out and make them want to like do certain things and, making it hard for us to try to do those things and probably like violently doing shit to us. However, it's expected. At this point, it's expected and we must be okay with that thing. And we must be willing to fight. It's not about just laying down. It's about like fighting back too. Nothing is fucking real within this system. Okay? So when you sit here and you're like, well, like, okay, if we do this, then like this system's gonna crash and like the money value would go down and fucking all this dumb shit that we say because we live within this system. And I get it, and I'm like, but it's just past me trying to like, because we get it at this point, right? Like, we literally are seeing these same officials that implement these rules also understanding that the shit's made up, hence why they always they change shit up and they like hire fucking random people to do things that allegedly a person who needs to have all this experience and all this shit, but like really don't need it because it's like, it's more about just putting people in places to go with your narrative to like continue to implement what you want to be implemented, right? And it's so much of that. Like these people that are kidnapping these people on the street aren't fucking officers, aren't like trained people. Like these are motherfuckers who are just like white nationalists, people who don't give a fuck and were willing to like do whatever the system says. The era of using social media to talk about shit that, again, when the answers are right there, is over. It's over. And again, I can't police you guys. You're going to do whatever you want to do. But when I'm looking at that, that's all I see now. Yes, I can see, again, the value and all of it in it, but I'm just seeing just the truth of the matter. And to me, it's just looking like we're scared. To me, it's looking like performance. To me, it's looking like people trying to gain a buck, trying to gain points to look like they have morale and all of that. Like, that is just what it is at this point. And yes, there's people who are doing the thing. There are people that understand this already and are doing this thing, but not enough people. Not enough people. I'm not just talking about standing in and doing peaceful protesting. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about pulling up and being ready to actually fight. Throwing shit, setting shit on fire, shooting back. Yeah. There's no more being able to pussyfoot around the thing, is what I'm saying. And it's also me saying that I understand where that comes from. But we either continue that and just deal with it, or we learn to do the uncomfortable thing, which I've been saying, while also talking to myself.